Senator Albritton, Senator Chambliss, Senator Coleman Madison, Senator Elliott,
Here.
Senator Gavan, Senator Gudger, Senator Orr, Senator Roberts, Senator Fortier, Senator Shellnut, Senator Butler, Senator Hawley.
Here. 7 present. We have a quorum. House Bill 199 by Representative Hall. Representative Hall here.
Mr. President, or Mr. Chairman,
Door.
we've seen this
Door.
bill before, and
Yeah.
I think we passed it out. I'd like to move favorable.
Second.
I'll second it. Let's call the roll.
Senator Albritton, Senator Chambliss, Senator Coleman Madison,
Aye.
Senator Elliott,
Aye.
Senator Gavan, Senator Gudger, Senator Orr, Senator Roberts, Senator Fortier, Senator Shellnut, Senator Butler, Senator Hawley.
Aye. 7 ayes, no nays. The bill is given a favorable report. Next bill will be House Bill 216 by Representative Jackson.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Our bill this morning, we want to thank you for putting us on the agenda for today, as we want to bring forth this bill at House Bill 216, which authorized the board to establish a designation for Marriage and Family Therapy Association and Marriage for Family Therapy Intern. And it would also distinguish a person in training for exemption purposes. This bill will bring some clarity to the licensure process for marriage family therapy by defining the stages a person could be in as they meet the education requirements, as it is the experience phases of the required from the institutions of.
Representative Jackson, if I might interrupt, let me recognize Senator Orr. He has a thought on this matter, and I think it might move us along.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move favorable of HB 216.
Seconded by Senator Butler. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those no, the ayes have it, and Representative Jackson, your bill is passed.
Thank you so very kindly. Thank you, members.
House Bill 232, Representative Bedsoe.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, the bill I have before you, HB 232, deals with the PDMP, the Prescription Drug Monitoring Program. Simply, this bill would grant access to the coroner and deputy coroner of each county, along with the medical examiner, for the sole purpose of determining cause of death. Also, we added an amendment on the floor of the House that would require coroners to complete some training under the Alabama Department of Public Health before they'd be granted access.
Motion by Senator Gavan to give the bill a favor report, seconded by Senator Shellnut. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. House Bill 232 is given a favor report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
House Bill 268 by Representative Kitchens.
We may have to have some serious discussion on this, given the bill's sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. This bill deals with certified registered nurse anesthetist. Currently, they can work under the direction of a licensed physician, and this specifies that they can also work in coordination with.
Move for favorable.
Second.
A report by Coleman Madison, seconded by Senator Shellnut. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, and the ayes have it. The bill is given a favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
House Bill 313, Representative Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, committee. This bill would allow chiropractors
Mr.
board
Chairman.
to have
Mr.
property
Chairman, this was a Senate bill. I think
price.
Senator Price had the companion. It's already passed Senate, so I'd move favorable.
Seconded by Senator Hawley. All those in favor of a favorable report will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. House
Thank you.
Bill 313 is given a favorable report. House Bill 319, Coleman.
Thank you, Mr.
Representative
Chair.
Coleman.
I'm just going to go in the vein of the committee. The movement you all have been going in and not filibuster my own bill if I don't need to.
Second.
Senator Shelnut moves a favorable report, seconded by Senator Gavan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Bill is given a favorable report. House Bill 333 by Representative Almond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee.
Representative Almond.
That one, Mr. Chairman. This bill adds or expands the board that oversees works with the LEA here. I think Representative Almond was not able to be here. I'll look at this real quick. Second. So, I'll move for a favorable, and I'll let Gavan second it there.
What's this bill
Motion
about?
by Elliott to give the bill a favorable report, seconded by Senator Shelnut. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The bill's given a favorable report. House Bill 346 by Representative Ellis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. This bill, a few years ago, Representative Ledbetter and Senator Wagner, I think, carried to allow local cities, local units to, with the act of a resolution, offer Tier 1 benefits to their Tier 2 employees. That bill had a sunset date on it, and this simply removes the sunset date so other cities who have not opted in yet could opt in.
Retirement System approves of the bill.
Yes, sir. And I don't mean to speak for them. They're here.
Senator Holland moves to give a favorable report, seconded by Senator Butler. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Bill's given a favorable report. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You have the next bill also. It's House Bill 371.
Yes, sir. Thank you again for recognition. This bill, very simply, a few years ago, we passed a bill that allowed counties to do tax lien sales as opposed to the old-fashioned tax sales. This bill will codify what they're already doing and allow them to do online auctions. It also combines 3 fees that are currently being collected and putting them in one fee, but does not increase the fee.
Senator Butler.
What about public notice on the internet? Anything done over the internet? Can that be done like 2, 3, 4 in the morning? Internet operates 24/7.
You mean in the auctions or the notice for the auction?
Any of it.
Well, the auctions are at a published time, and I'm not sure what that is, but most of the time I've seen are during the day, during business hours. The notice is posted on the county's website, and I think it's run in the paper linking to the county website, and it runs continuous for a certain amount of time. But this bill does not change that notice requirement at all.
Senator Ellis, I think I heard what you're saying, but between now and floor debate,
Yes, sir.
I hope you and Senator Butler will be in agreement as to what we are passing.
Okay.
Now is exactly like you stated it to be.
Yes, sir. I'll be glad to
Motion
clear
by
that up.
Senator Gavan. to
No, I'm opposed to it, and I want to be down as a
what I
no.
thought. Senator Elliott, bill of favor report, seconded by Senator Holly. Any other comments or thoughts?
Call the roll. Call the roll.
All the roll on this one, that's it.
Senator Albritton, Senator Chambliss, Senator Coleman Madison, Senator Elliott,
Aye.
Senator Gavan, Senator Gudger, Senator Orr, Senator Roberts, Senator Fortier, Senator Shelnut, Senator Butler,
No.
Senator Holly.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman.
3-3 and 1 abstention. The bill does not receive
Chairman.
a favor report. Senator.
Having voted on the prevailing side, I'd move to bring the bill back up and
Second the motion.
move to carry it over, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Butler, Senator
Yvan.
Gavan, did you second? Okay, all those in favor of carrying the bill over, say
Aye.
aye. Ayes have it, the bill is carried over to.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee members, and I'll be glad to meet and answer any questions we've got. Thank you.
Senate Bill 268, Senator Shelnutt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill would prohibit any entity from providing a registered voter with a pre-filled voter registration application or absentee ballot application. And why is this bill necessary? In the 2018-2020 election cycles, third-party organizations sent out voter registration forms, and they were pre-filled, and most of them contained wrong name, address. I won't filibuster wrong bill. We got
Shelnutt moves to give the bill a
Question,
favor
sir.
report.
I have a question.
Second by Senator
Unread.
Orr, the discussion. Senator,
Are you saying that these forms were sent out from the courthouse? Because that's the only place they're sent from.
No, it's a lot of these organizations are sending them out to voters, and they're filled out wrong.
They just went up and got. Now, these are not forms for voter application to register to vote. These are forms that you actually vote. Absentee ballots, what you're talking about?
Absentee ballots and voter registration applications.
Okay. Because I can't see, I wonder why you put in absentee ballot, because the absentee ballot is sent directly to the voter from the courthouse. So I was wondering why that would be an issue. It's sent to the voter, you understand?
They have to go.
Who else would they be sent to? I don't think that's correct. I wish we had a registrar here. They send it to the address of the voter. Is there someone from this?
We have someone.
We had an example in Jefferson County where 19 were sent to an abandoned house, 19 absentee voter applications.
Honorable members, Clay Helms here with the Secretary of State's office. So this is prohibiting the pre-filling of absentee ballot applications or voter registration applications. What you have are these groups, organizations that mass mail using bad data, NCOA data, etc., voter registration applications to people that have been deceased decades, people that are already registered to vote, people that may not even live in the state of Alabama. And oftentimes the address information is incorrect. It confuses individuals of both party lines. The absentee ballot application the same way. These people may normally vote in person, but they're sent an absentee ballot application and it's pre-filled. They don't know if that means they're supposed to vote absentee or if they're now eligible to vote absentee by excuse. But this does not prohibit a solicited request for assistance. It prohibits unsolicited groups from mailing these applications out, and the Secretary of State's office is the return address. They do not care about the bounce backs. We've tried to reach out to them. They do not care about the total outcome. They just want to push as much out as they can.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
any other calls or comments, or have a motion to give the bill a favor report by Shelnutt, seconded by Orr. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is given favor report. Senate Bill 295 by Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. This is a bill, SB 295, that I've been asked to carry for the Secretary of State's office. Many of you guys know that you're supposed to fill out your principal campaign committee report, and a lot of the parties have something in their bylaws and they will disqualify you if you haven't signed up and submitted that within 5 days of qualifying for office. So this just brings that in line with, this makes the law compatible with what's already going on at some level.
Mr. Chairman, move favorable.
Senator Elliott, seconded by Senator Gavan. All those in favor of a favorable report will say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The bill is given a favorable report. Senate Bill 292 by Senator Harfoot.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to be heard today. SB 292 is a bill that has been referred to as a CRT bill. It's interesting enough that CRT is not even mentioned in the bill. This bill does basically the following. It illuminates or delineates the divisive concepts that cannot be taught in our classrooms. Among those are that one race, sex, or religion is inherently superior to another race, sex, or religion. I think we can all agree on that. That this state of the United States is inherently racist or sexist. Hope we also can agree on that. That an individual solely by virtue of his race or sex is inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive without consciously, whether consciously or unconsciously. That an individual should be discriminated against or receive adverse treatment solely on the basis of his or her race. That members of one race should attempt to treat others differently solely on the basis of race. That an individual's moral character is determined on the basis of his or her race, sex, or religion. That an individual solely by virtue of his or her race, sex, or religion bears responsibility for actions committed in the past by other members of the same sex or religion. That fault, blame, or bias should be assigned to a race, sex, or religion, or to members of a race, sex, or religion solely on the basis of their race, sex, or religion. In other words, I think these are concepts that we can all agree on, that we do not believe that, number one, we should hold in a society, that we should adhere to. We certainly should not teach our kids that they are better or worse than any of the other kids based on their race, sex, or religion. I've got Representative Oliver here, who has worked diligently on the House version, companion version of this. I would also say to you, there have been individuals who have said this would prohibit the teaching of history. My mother was a history teacher. That's where I got my love of history. We should talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, to quote one of the spaghetti westerns. We should address the fallacies that have happened and the mistakes and bad decisions that have happened in the past. This bill does not do away with that. Any questions?
Senator Gavan.
I have an amendment that I believe is a friendly amendment.
It is.
Chair, can I respond to that?
Yes, sir, just 1 second. Secretary, read the amendment.
On page 6, line 24, after from, insert the following language: providing any instruction in furtherance of satisfying any accreditation standard or. On page 7, line 18, after act, insert the following language: any disciplinary action or termination of an employee of a public institution of higher education shall remain subject to relevant policies established by the institution.
Sir, do you want to speak to the amendment or the bill? The bill. Motion by Senator Gavan to give to adopt the amendment. Seconded by Senator Orr. All those in favor of the amendment will say aye.
Aye.
Those no, the ayes have it. The bill of the amendment is given an adoption vote affirmative. I recognize the gentleman in the audience. His shirt says the NAACP, and we welcome you, sir. Glad to have you.
Thank you so much for this
Look forward to
opportunity.
your comments.
My name is Kenneth Dukes. I'm the third vice president for the Alabama State Conference of the NAACP. And I would like the opportunity to speak because SB 292 was just introduced on Thursday, March the 3rd, and now it's being put for a vote today, which is Tuesday, without any opportunity for public testimony. Our request is that we can, delay the vote until there's public testimony being given for this particular bill.
What's the thoughts of the senator who sponsors the bill?
Mr. Chairman.
Just a minute.
Mr. Chairman, it's obviously it's your committee and the committee members there. I would appreciate an affirmative vote to the extent that there's any issues that still need to be addressed. We're certainly willing to sit down and discuss those and try to accommodate where possible.
Senator Goldman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't know that this bill was going to be on here, and there has been a lot of information or misinformation about critical race theory. I mean, you can go on anybody's website and people are talking about it, but I don't know if when we say critical race theory, I just asked one of my colleagues, I said, what's your definition of critical race theory? They had an entirely different definition from what's being floated out here. And for that reason, because of the misinformation, and looking at what you have in the bill, it seems harmless, but I do think because this is such a volatile issue right now with the public and people not understanding it, I mean, people are even campaigning on it, and I don't know if they really understand what it is. But I do think it's very important that people understand that, according to what I'm reading here, we are not saying you cannot teach history, as you say, the good, the bad, the ugly. It should be taught. Even when it comes down to monuments, and I tell people, use it as an opportunity to teach, but teach the whole history, tell the whole story. What's on this monument is only what somebody wants to be on here. Do your research and teach the whole story about who this person is and what they did or did not do. And I think that's where it is with critical race theory, and because there's so much controversy around it, I really wish that if we could carry it over a week to kind of maybe sit down and get a meeting of the minds to understand. The worst thing that I think could happen is that we go out and this bill passes, or we just rush it on through, and again, you have that misconception of what this bill is really all about.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, Senator Coleman Madison, I value your thoughts. I will say that, again, the word critical race theory is not in there. There are 9 divisive type concepts that I think if the members of this body and everyone in here were to sit down and read the 9 divisive concepts, we would all agree. I hope we would all agree on those. And that's what makes this bill so simple, because it's not, the term of critical race theory is not involved in this bill. And you're right. You can ask 5 different people, and I suspect you'll get 5 different answers of what critical race theory is. But this is a delineation of what those divisive concepts are.
I understand what you're saying, but, arose by any other name, even though critical race theory is not mentioned, we understand the whole concept was centered around that. So, but why at this time then would this bill be brought?
Well, I think it's important, from the standpoint of we have a duty or an obligation to the folks that we represent in every 35 districts, 105 House districts, and first and foremost, education's on everybody's mind. And we want to make sure that what is taught at the local school level is factually accurate, that no one is punished for not ascribing to a certain thought process, and that you cannot hold a child back or punish a child simply because they do not ascribe to one of these divisive type concepts, if it were.
Well, see, that's what we consider critical race theory. And that's why I'm saying that we really need to understand. First of all, it would have been nice if there was a definition in here, even though you don't use the term, is what we are talking about. We're talking about education, and to me, whatever you want to call it, it ought to be defined. I mean, the buzzword is critical race theory. And again, if you ask everybody around here, you probably get a different definition. So even though you don't call it what it is and what the public considers it, that's what we're talking about.
Thank you very much. Senator Gavan, do you have a motion?
Well, I just would say what we are talking about is divisive concepts, and those are defined, or that is defined in this. And unfortunately, we don't need to get into individual examples, but I know that this has been used in the school system to single out children and, for instance, in one case, say this is what a racist looks like. And I think that's horrible to do to a child. And by the way, I wish we'd had a policy that you can't just get a bill up and get it right through, but we do it all the time. And so I would move for a favorable report.
Seconded by Gavan. Make some motions.
Roll call, please.
By Senator Orr. Secretary, call the roll.
Senator Albritton, Senator Chambliss, Senator Coleman Madison,
No.
Senator Elliott,
Aye.
Senator Gavan, Senator Gudger, Senator Orr, Senator Roberts, Senator Fortier, Senator Shellnut, Senator Butler, Senator Hawley.
Aye. 6 ayes and 1 nay. The bill is given a favor report as amended.
Thank you, members.
You are adjourned. Well.